Okay, it's time for another review. It's been a long time that I haven't been active on YouTube. So this is one of the most exciting reviews that I'm making for a long time, and it's going to review the Node Stage 4 with tons of my workstations. I know it's not going to be maybe fair to some of you guys because they said, okay, this is a stage piano and it's not in the same league of workstation. So I'm doing this merely for people who think they want to buy this as their main keyboard and the only keyboard. And there is a lot of arguments online that if you buy this Node Stage 4, you don't need any other keyboard, and it's going to be all in one. I want to compare it to some of the flagships like a Yamaha Montage M, Kurzweil, Roland Fantom, even Nautilus and the old Montage. Okay, to start, when you buy this beautiful keyboard, it comes with one pedal, a very brief instruction manual, and a power cord. You may also buy a soft back and a triple pedal for it. At the time of purchasing this, which was in, I believe I bought it in April of 2025. So it's been like more than 2 months that I bought it. This bag comes for free. So this bag was free. And the price at that time was $5,600. But all of a sudden it jumped to $6,000 right now. I'm not sure if they still have the bag with this keyboard or not, but at the time that I purchased, it was a part of the deal, but the triple pedal I had to pay extra. So my first impression, it's a very good built keyboard, and for people who counting the knobs and they think if more knobs that you have, you definitely have a better keyboard or better workflow. It does have enough knobs and faders, and yeah, voila, it does have those 9 bars if you are a person who like to play organ a lot. So assuming if you like this section, you most likely gonna be a worship musician. That's the only people who might like to have a better organ section. Overall, the build quality is nice. The keyboard is nice. It feels good to touch. It has a triple sensor, which makes it easy to play piano sections. The connectivity is okay. What I like that you can read what you have as far as the connectivity in the back. As far as the connectivity is not a very good keyboard. You don't have too much of connections like what you find on the Roland Fantom, for instance. But overall, I like it. It's relatively lighter than Roland Fantom. Then another argument that I hear online, because some people say, okay, you know, Montage is 60 pounds, but Node Stage Compact is 30 something. We are talking about the Node Stage 4 in 88 key version, because I assume if you like to have a piano feel and you are a piano player, you like to have this one. This one is 43 pounds, is still relatively heavy. It's not lightweighted. And most of the time when I carry this thing in its own bag, I have the feel that the handles, the grab handles, gonna fall apart anytime. So it's not still a lightweight keyboard. That's something that I need to mention for sure. The other thing that I have to mention at the beginning of this review is an honest review. I'm not a crazy fan of Node Stage. I'm just reviewing this very unbiased and very fairly. So I'm gonna go over all the cons and pros. I know there are too many fanatic, die-hard fans of this keyboard because they think it's cool because it's red, or it has too many knobs and it has the best piano sounds, or blah blah blah. I'm not that type. I'm just going to compare it very fair and square. The second thing that I have to mention, I'm sure you are a good musician and good player, so you're not watching this video to be entertained. So I'm not going to play that much because, you know, this is not about playing. I know you can play better than me, and so you don't need me to entertain you. I just want to take that out of the way before the beginning. So as far as the sound quality, some of the sounds on this are very great. The piano sounds very great. I don't say it's very realistic, but it's been designed to be cut through the mix So when you take it on the stage, so I mean, you're listening to this through my studio monitors. I haven't even connected the USB cable yet. So as you see, you don't have to do that much with this keyboard when you doing live stage, and that's the main purpose of stage piano. So if you're merely using piano sounds or electric piano sounds or organ sounds with one or two layers of maybe a string or pad, so you don't need too many very complicated layers, this is going to be a very good keyboard for you. The pianos are processed very well, so they have EQ'd the pianos, they have higher highs, and they added some kind of release. So especially this wide grand sounds very great. And one of the things that makes the piano pleasant on this unit is maybe the response to the keys. The response is very intuitive. I don't know how to describe it, but how they are connected, it feels more like a real piano. So I like it. Anything else feels good to touch. All the buttons, all these knobs are rubbery. The buttons feels good. Or in these organ sections, this make like a clicking noise, so you have like a stepping feel to it. So the organ section is awesome too. As I mentioned before, it has a very concise instruction manual, which is good, that it tells you that how easy it is to learn this keyboard. I learned the whole keyboard in an hour. It's easy to learn everything about it. There's nothing complicated. So in that regard, the workflow, it's really good. I have to give it a thumbs up, because controlling everything is easy if you go through the effects, if you are layering, if you're morphing, or you want to designate like this mod wheel to any parameters, like changing the LFO or changing the pad layer levels. It's really easy. Build quality is good too. I'm not a fan of this wood thing. I don't know what do they call it. It's doing almost like a pitch bend, but I don't like the feel of it, and there's too much of gap around it that it can collect the dust very easily. So overall, in terms of build quality, surface control, and the user interface, I mean, it's a really good keyboard. It has two small screens, and the screens are too bright. They're not touch screen, they're not fully colored, but they're too bright, so you can read everything, all the information easily, even outdoor. Not too much of menu diving. However, when you get to some details, definitely you have to do menu diving. All you need to do, you need to learn some of the shortcuts in this keyboard. Other than that, the workflow is pretty easy. I mean, if you work on this thing 1 or 2 hours, you can learn everything about it, and that's one of the best features of this keyboard, I guess. Now I'm gonna play two back-to-back. I'm not gonna use a USB cable because my microphone is not good, so if I use my USB cable, you don't hear my voice that much, but I'm going to play the same thing with the Yamaha Montage new CFX2 piano, and you do the comparison. I mean, the pianos on the Yamaha are great too. I like this CFX2 especially. Even the old CFX1, they're great. The Yamaha pianos are great. It has some sort of real structure to it. It might not be cut through like the other one, like the Nord, because you have to EQ. this sometimes, but in terms of pianos, they have imperial piano, and I mean, the piano is some kind of subjective thing. It just everybody might have a different opinion on the piano, but I like the Yamaha pianos a lot. I believe the YC, even the Yamaha YC series, has a very good piano. I like this keyboard a lot, even better than what you find on the North Stage, because this one has polyphonic aftertouch, and in this GEX keyboard is really easy to play. So in terms of piano, if I want to compare less Montage M8x with North Stage, I would give them both the same number, because as I said, that might have been EQ'd. The North Stage might have been EQ'd better to cut through the mix, but you can do the same thing with the Yamaha Montage. Not to mention, I love their pianos already. Even this CFX2, and you have a CFX Bright. The other thing is, one of the arguments that I hear here a lot about the North Stage, because they said it's easy to adjust everything on the fly. It's easy to do those on this type of workstations too. Not to mention, you have a large touch screen and you can control a lot. So ergonomically, it might be easy to just focus on one section. But the thing is, you have set lists. You have your live sets here, or set lists on the Roland Fantom, or the set list on Kronos or Nautilus. So if you are playing with a band, I assume you already know what kind of songs are in playing. So you can save everything in your set list. And you can call up those set lists. You can search and find your set list. You have a search function on these machines. So the whole argument that is easier to do stuff live on the fly, I don't understand it, because as a musician, I always save whatever I want to do to my set list, and it's right away. It's just a touch away, so I don't need to do everything on the fly. So that's something that I think I have to mention. That argument, it's kind of debatable that. Because you have that kind of surface control on the North Stage or any stage piano, it might be better for live playing. You can play live with any kind of keyboard. It doesn't have to be a stage piano. It doesn't have to be North, but definitely stage pianos are designed to be easier to work and has less manual diving. But for the same reason, they have less capabilities, because they're not they're not workstations. They're just like a more simple keyboards, and they might be just right be a right keyboard for some certain type of music genres. For instance, if you want to play anything 80s or 90s, definitely I guess the workstation is much better than the North Stage. Let's go back to the North Stage and talk about it more. Some beautiful pianos, and it's easy to layer. It's easy to layer. Some stuff is easy, for instance, to, let's say, if I want to designate my wheel to this volume, and I can control my volume level easily with my mouth. So it doesn't need that much of menu diving, which is good. But at the same time, because you don't have menu diving, you might not have in-depth control over some parameters. So in that regard, I think the new Roland V Stage might be one step ahead of this, because they not even have the nice control surface like this one. They gave you a larger screen, and they left some of those menu divings there for you to be able to do more in-depth controls. Some of the other things that for instance, like a layering that we're talking about, this is not something easy. The Roland RD2000 had that thing. It was very one of the best stage pianos in terms of surface control, and you have the same setting set up in the Roland Fantom, so you can layer up to 16 sounds, 16 temporals. It's easy to go over any of those layers. It's easy to turn them on or off. It's easy just to route it to an external sound, but push up the shift and selecting your sound. So you can do pretty much everything on a, you know, on a workstation like a Roland Fantom, like this one. And not to mention on this one, my layers are spread out. So I have my organ section here, then these two are here, these three. And imagine you have all the 16 layers actually, because you have 16 layers there, right next to each other, but you have the same sort of control like faders, and turning them on or off or routing them to the external sounds. In terms of surface control, I should admit that this is very easy to work, but it doesn't mean that the other keyboards, they don't have anything like that. I believe still Roland Fantom is has one of the best workflows ever. As I mentioned, it is not maybe fair to compare these things two together, but I'm merely doing this because there is this huge argument. A lot of these people, a lot of fanatic diehard fans of this keyboard, which are mostly I assume they are worship musicians or people from Scandinavian countries that are they're crazy about this keyboard because they think it's red or made in Sweden. And I've seen people that have like 6, 7 of this, and which is which makes me scratch my head. If you want to have 6 keyboards, why should they all be Nord? Why should you have the same thing over and over? You can buy the other keyboards. But anyway, so this machine has its own cons and pros, like any other machine. Is not perfect. You just want to have nice piano sounds along with the very good organ section. Definitely is a good machine. EPs, I think they're okay. They're not very different than any other keyboard that I have here. As far as the EPs, it's okay. I guess the EPs on the Roland Fantom, on the Montage, are the same. In terms of synth sounds, pads or strings, it definitely falls short in that category. It's not as good as great workstations like Fantom or Montage M. And but overall, I like it. The main downside about this keyboard is the price. So when I wanted to buy it, I was just really skeptical. I wanted to know if it's worth it or not, and I bought it. And after I owned it for a month now, I should admit this keyboard is not worth the price that you pay. Even when it was $5,600, it was overpriced, let alone to be $6,000 now. And you can buy a Yamaha Montage M8x at $4,400. Or you can buy a Roland V-Stage much cheaper, around $4,000. Or even the Roland Fantom. The funny thing is, this keyboard in Sweden, I checked, it had the same price tag as a Roland V-Stage. And to me, they both, either this or Roland V-Stage are overpriced, because the price of Roland Fantom, which is a flagship workstation, is $4,400. So I don't think even the Roland V-Stage should be at that price, or this thing. The fair price for this should be around $3,000 to $3,500. That's the price of the Yamaha YC series. And that's the price tag, a real price tag for a stage piano. It shouldn't be higher than that. So I guess most of these companies are having a very, high profit margin on these keyboards. One of the reasons this might be expensive because it's a very small company, Sweden company. They have only 7 employees. So in terms of business model, they are not that efficient. I know if they're assembling these things in their basement or whatever, but the price is too high. To mention that, I believe if this company wants to make you something like Yamaha Montage M8x, as the price is going to be probably $10,000 to $12,000. That tells you how inefficient is their business model. Merely because this is too expensive, it doesn't make it the flagship or the best keyboard in the world. But some people have this mentality: if something is more expensive, it might be better. And if I buy this, I can show off, or it tells people I'm a very professional musician, or blah blah blah. And that's not true technically. You see this a lot, especially recently. A lot of famous fans might see that they might using it on this stage. Don't forget, this was a very old advertising tactic that the Roland started in 80s. They give away these keyboards to famous bands to use in performances. They even pay them to use them. And I'm sure this Nord Stage has done that, and they've been very successful. They gave away tons of these keyboards to famous bands just to have it on the stage and pay them tons of money. And that's brings some kind of subliminal reaction that you think if you see this a lot and all the famous bands are using it, maybe it's the best keyboard. The same strategy that the Kurzweil had in the 90s. I remember the first time that I saw Kurzweil in the 90s was at the Bee Gees concert in GM in Las Vegas, and I saw that and I said, man, I should buy myself one of those keyboards. So that's something to mention. Other things that I'm going to go through today is, so if you don't want to buy this machine, so what should you buy? There are too many other stage pianos if you want to buy a stage piano. I mean, there are too many other options. Yamaha YC series is a really good quality stage piano, and the price is really fair. Roland VStage is good, it's new. It's similar to this machine, but it's a little bit more expensive, and the price won't justify for me because you can buy the Roland Fantom at that price. The only problem with these flagship workstations is they are heavy, and so does this one. Again, don't compare the Nord Stage 77 compact with this. That's not this machine. We're talking about the 88 key, fully hammer action keyboard. So if you want to have 88 key with a lightweight, maybe you better buy like a MIDI controller and have a bunch of VSTs on your computer, because this one, even though it has nice, beautiful pianos, none of those pianos is going to be as good as a VST. Or maybe you can buy even Juno D or Roland Fantom Zero or Modi X Plus 88. But if the weight is not an issue, you are with a big band and you have your roadies to carry these things around, one of the good options could be the Korg Nautilus 88 and the new upcoming Korg Kronos, which I have one in pre-order, and the Montage M8x. To me, the Montage M8x is still the king of all the keyboards and workstations, and it's going to stay there for a while. One of the other keyboards that I can recommend you to buy is the beautiful Kurzweil K2700. It has one of the best piano sounds, and the sounds are very high quality. Yeah, you can do tons of things with this machine. Of course, I don't like the surface control. The surface control is good, but the UI I don't like it because it doesn't have the touch screen. But it's an impressive machine, incredible machine. All the acoustic sounds are good. Even the synth section is beautiful, and the price is very right. You can buy this around $2,900. It was $2,900. I don't know if they jacked up the price. It comes with a pedal, so this could be a very good substitute if you don't want to waste your money on a Nord or Roland Fantom, which I love it, and I have two of that machine. But Yamaha Montage M8x is one of the best options if the weight is not an issue for you. You know, I remember when I bought this Geno Suit when it came out 2 years ago. This was the most expensive keyboard back then. I mean, it was $5,000 something. It still is $5,600, and I was really pissed because I said, this is too expensive for this machine. And I know, and I see that this thing is even more expensive than that. And it doesn't make any sense at all, because that thing is a arranger. It does everything. It technically does you the backing track, and it has very beautiful piano sounds too. So maybe that could be a good option if you're someone who can work or like to work with arrangers. Because this one, in terms of pianos, has a CFX concert, and of course the keyboard is not as good as any of those fully weighted keyboards that you find on the workstation. But it has 77 keys, and it has nice sounds, very high quality sounds, and it's a arranger. You can use it as a one-man band because it does have a backing track. So there are too many other options. The Korg Nautilus, it's a great choice. I love it. The pianos, especially the grand piano, the Italian grand is awesome. The pianos on the Korg are always awesome. So there are too many other options if you are not obliged to buy just a stage piano. But if you want to buy a stage piano, I recommend you to go and look at the other options too. I still love Nord Stage. I don't say it's a bad keyboard. I still love it for whatever it is. The only problem that I do have with this keyboard, it is really overpriced and there are too many hypes over it. But I like the workflow, I like the sound quality, I should admit that. So if I want to sum everything up in terms of surface control, I give it 9 out of 10. In terms of piano sounds, EP sounds, and organ sounds, it gets 9 out of 10. In terms of overall sounds, I'm talking about everything like synth sounds, strings and stuff like that, I give it probably 8 out of 10. One of the problem is it doesn't have that much of internal memory, so if you want to download more samples from their website, you have to delete some of the internal sounds. Overall, if I want to compare this with whatever I do have here, again, this is a comparison with keyboards in terms of we're talking about all-in-one keyboard. We're not talking about, I know some of you might argue this is not a workstation, yeah. But the same people who are bringing up that the same argument, they're telling this is the only keyboard that if you buy, you don't need any other keyboard. That's not true. So overall, if I want to give 10 to any of these keyboards that I do have, and I have tons of other keyboards that they're not here, I have too many other synths, I have Jupiter X, Juno X, I've done tons of review on those things, and you can go ahead and watch this on my channel. Also, I do have a pre-order on Kronos 388, which is going to be here anytime soon, maybe in a week or so, so you can tune to my channel to watch that later on. So if I want to give it 10 out of 10, the only keyboard that I give 10 out of 10 is going to be Yamaha Montage M8x, because this is the most powerful and the best workstation that has ever been made by far. Right behind that, I love the Roland Fantom. It's because it has the best workflow ever. No synthesizer workstation can come even close to this, and it does have beautiful Roland sound palette, and all the sounds on this one is nice. Even the V piano. I like the V piano. The keyboard is awesome. It's a wood grain keyboard, and it does have escapement. And right after that, I like the Korg Nautilus, of course. Still love my old Yamaha Montage. It's still a very nice workstation. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting for the Yamaha Montage M8x to come in a different color in the future, maybe white or so, then I can replace my old Montage with another. So yeah, so if you want to buy this, the only time that I recommend to buy this only if you are a worship musician. I know 90% of the people who might like this thing because they are playing worship music, and I know some people, some vloggers online that they have channel and promoting this product and they just play at church. If you want to buy something all-in-one, this is not the all-in-one. Again, anybody who's arguing about this, that I was reading this comment that someone said I had a Kronos and a Modi X and I sold them and I have this, I don't need any other keyboard. No, this is not an all-in-one. No way. No way. This cannot even compete with the Modi X Plus when it comes to synth sounds, all the capabilities. It is good only, and if only you want to play organ. I don't know what kind of genre of music you just need to play organ. Some people like organ because they just, I guess they just play at church. They are worship musician, or maybe they just like to play Frankenstein music. I don't know. But I play organ, but maybe 1% of the music or 1% of the capabilities of the keyboard gonna be the organ section. Because if you want to judge a keyboard only by the organ section, I don't know what to say. There are too many other things that the keyboard needs to have to be a good keyboard, to be a good workstation or a stage piano, not just the organ. If you like organ, you can go ahead and buy maybe a Hammond organ. Hammond SK has, Hammond is the inventor of this type of organ, and you can go ahead and buy that, and it's much cheaper than this. But so if you are a worship musician, definitely this is the best keyboard. It is not an all-in-one keyboard. Again, this is not an all-in-one keyboard. It is heavy. We're talking about the Nord Stage 4 88. Again, don't compare it with, I don't know, Nord Stage Compact. This is a heavy keyboard. This is 43. If I want to carry 43, I don't mind to carry a little bit more, like a 60 pound, and at least have the Yamaha Montage M8x with me. So if the weight is not an issue, definitely go with the M8x. And if you want to buy this in compact in order to get a lighter weight, you can buy this at 61 key weight too. 61 key is much lighter than this. I believe 61 is going to be around 43 or something. So these are the things that you have to consider before buying this keyboard. I still love it. It's a good keyboard for whatever it is. It's a stage piano. It's a good stage piano. It cannot be the best stage piano. I'm sorry. The reason because it is really overpriced, and it's because, as I said, inefficient business model of a very small company in Sweden, or maybe the labor is too high in Sweden. This keyboard is not worth the price tag by any stretch of imagination. It won't justify. So anybody who arguing that, yeah, this keyboard is worth 6,000, I'm sorry, it's not. I own a lot of keyboards. This keyboard shouldn't be worth more than $3,000 up to $3,500. That's it. So if you could find a used one around that price, it's good. But if you want to spend that kind of money, don't even buy this. Go buy another stage piano or buy the Montage M8x, which is the king of the workstations and is much cheaper. I'm sure if the Nord want to build something like this, it's going to cost you $10,000 to $12,000 at least. To wrap up my unbiased and fair review, I'm sorry if you have been offended because you're a diehard fan of Nord or you're too fanatic about it. I entitled myself to give my fair opinion because, first of all, I have paid for this thing, Nord having given me this for free to do promotion like some people who does. And I own all the other keyboards that I paid with my own money. I play with them, and because I own all of these keyboards, including the Nord Stage, I entitled myself to tell the truth, and the truth is this keyboard is not worth the price. And yes, there is too much of hype around it. I love it. I mean, I love the workflow. It's awesome for whatever it is. It's just a stage piano, and if you are a worship musician, this is going to be a best keyboard for you. Not at this price though. So I recommend you to go and look at the other options, including the new Roland V Stage. Thanks for watching this, and bye.